Hey y'all, welcome back to my shed here in wintry Wisconsin. It's really cold in here, like 15 degrees outside, and this building is not insulated well. But the thing about winter means that I have usually a lot more free time, and that means more projects. I've been getting a lot of projects done lately in my shop. There's been like a 12-channel snake I rebuilt, and just a bunch of stuff that I've been putting off because summer's been really busy. And I've finally gotten to do some of those things. And I got on here today to share one project in particular with you that I think you might find interesting. If you've been following along here with me for any amount of time, you know that I'm in a band and I also do sound and lights for various types of events. Now, my band is pretty small in the grand scheme of things, and we're typically playing at clubs that are, 200 to 500 capacity. If you know anything about bands and clubs of that size, you may know how the shows go. And usually there's 3, 4, 5 bands on a bill, and the changeover times are really quick. Sometimes bands are even sharing equipment. There's definitely a time crunch factor for those changeovers, and it makes even bringing our own in-ear rig a little bit difficult sometimes. About a year ago, I had the idea that, hey, even though we're a small band, I think we should do some cool stuff and bring our own lighting package. And of course the guys were like, no, that's probably not a good idea. But me being me, I tried to make it happen. So what I did was I put together a small ground package with a couple of moving lights and a couple of wash lights and just stuff that we could set up as quickly as possible, theoretically, and have our own light show. We don't play to a click, so that's about the time when my buddy Kale joined us and I convinced him to run our light show during our shows. So there's a MIDI controller and he hits the cues, and there's other stuff. Anyways, I'll make a whole other video about that. The other good thing about having Kale is that we had another helper to help us set the stuff up. Even with another helper though, adding a lighting package to our set of a band our size is still challenging. And if you know me, you know I'm all about efficiency. So I set out to make our lighting setup as efficient as possible. All right, so if there's one thing that I've learned from working at the music venue that I work at and touring myself, is that bands, especially headliners, will bring their own lights, but they will usually bring them on something called pre-rig. This is a truss system with wheels, and you can basically pre-mount all of your lights to these pre-rigged trusses and be able to bring them on and off the stage in chunks. Pre-rig truss is super expensive, usually starts at like $1,000 a stick, and it's also huge. I knew that something like this would be the best route for us, but I knew we couldn't afford it, I couldn't afford it, and it's just way too big for our trailer. So I thought, maybe I could build something? All right, enough talking, let's go get these carts out so I can show you what I'm talking about. All right, so right now these carts are stored back here behind these curtains. You can see where we are in the studio space. So I have these curtains and I'm running out of space in the shop area, which is over there. So they're stuck back here, but this is where the rest of our band stuff is. So that is where we put the lighting carts for now. All right. Okay, let's get some light here so you can see them a little better. Ta-da, there we are. All right, so let me explain a little bit about what the setup used to look like. So we had 4 moving washes to start with. It ended up being 6 eventually. 2 of the moving washes were on speaker tripods behind my drum kit. So there was one here, and then we had these panels, which are now here, on the ground to light me from underneath, because we found out I need to be lit up too. And then these panels were also on the speaker poles. So it was moving head, panel, and then there was the other moving head was on a case. We would flip up one of the shed's cases on its end and put a moving light on the case to get it just off the ground a bit. And then we put the other 2 in front of the rug. So 1 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 moving heads in total. Then you can see right behind here, there's actually these other tripod things. And these, I'll show you really quick, these are just more of these panels which were washing us from the sides. So the goal here is to pre-rig all of these lights onto something so that we don't have to take the lights out of the cases and set them up all individually, and then also cable them all together, because they were all, you have to make a DMX connection and a power connection between each one of these lights. So this is what I came up with. You can see all of the lights are pre-rigged onto this tubing frame, and all of the cabling is already done. So now we wheel 2 of these carts into place, one on either side of the drum kit, and then we set up those 2 tripods, which we do put movers on top of that as well. And we have to make a total of 4 cable runs. One that goes between one of those stands to the cart, one that goes between the 2 carts, one that goes to the other stand, that makes 3, and then we do a run to front of house, basically, which is our DMX run, so that would make 4 runs in total instead of what would have been over a dozen runs for sure. All right, so let's take a little bit of a closer look at what I did here. So these poles are actually fence tubing, and I bought this at Menards. It's just fence tubing that's been painted black, and it was super cheap. I want to say it was like maybe $10 or $12 for a 6-foot piece, and I was able to buy a tubing cutter and cut all the pieces to the lengths that I needed. I did debate on doing some sort of weldment, or I looked around for different clamping options, and the cheapest and most efficient thing that I found was this type of tubing and these clamps that are meant to make fences. So you can see there's only 1 bolt here, so I know that these aren't super strong. There's not a ton of clamping force happening, and I plan on adding some self-tapping screws right through these clamps into the tubes in the future. But we did use these for one show, and I had them in the trailer, and we transported them and we put them up on a stage, and all of that in reverse order, and they held up. So I didn't have anything move or twist or bend. So that was super satisfying that everything was managed to hold together. You can see also, I put the 3D printer to work. I made this really thick brace. These are really heavy duty 3D printed brackets that I designed and made. So this just keeps this whole thing from like wiggling back and forth. You can see I'm moving it, and the whole cart is moving, and it's not trying to teeter-totter back and forth like that. And without this, it definitely did. This would have broke, or the tubing would have bent this clamp or something like that. So this brace was definitely necessary and effective to keeping this whole thing upright. I also designed and printed these caster mounts. I wasn't quite sure how I was gonna mount flat casters to round tubing. That was one of the challenges that I faced, and this is what I came up with. It's again super heavy duty printed PETG. Added a lot of wall thickness, so these are pretty heavy and solid. I do fully expect one of these to break at some point. I know that some of us are rough on the gear when we're loading and unloading, and it's just gonna happen. I'm just gonna bet on it rather than count on it not happening. So I'll probably have a few printed extras ready to go. But so far, we did well. We got it in and out of the trailer and rolled it on some bumpy pathways and such, and they held up. So we'll see how long they last. But I did do quite a bit of 3D printing to make these happen, just because I couldn't find the parts and pieces that I needed to complete it, so I just made my own. Last thing I want to mention here about the build is these subwoofer poles that I added, and you can see it's got the thread on the bottom. It would normally be for a subwoofer, but I just clamped them with some fence clamps, and these actually raise up. Now these actually raise up, so let me just take a second here and raise these movers up with these poles so you can see what that would look like. So we'll give it a spin. I spun it so the connectors on the back of this light don't hit anything in the trailer. So we're gonna do that. And there's a pin that goes in this, but I'll just tighten it for now. It should hold just fine. So there you go. This is what the cart would look like when it's deployed. So that's really the only move that needs to happen for this, is just raising that pole up. All right, guys, I really don't know how much more I have to say about these carts. I do want to do a video about the band's lighting as a whole. I'll set everything up in here. I'll walk you through the programming and just kind of like how we make our light show happen as a small band. And I'll put that video maybe up here when it's out. If you don't see it yet, that means I haven't made it. And you should subscribe and check that out when it comes out. In the meantime, I hope you found this video interesting and maybe I inspired you to design something and build something yourself. Who knows? I think I'm gonna be building some more carts for my own production. Or I just may use these carts for my own productions as well, since the lights are already, you know, mounted to them and ready to go. Obviously, I'll just have to make a new file for my show now that now that the lights are in different positions. But I'll definitely be using these for my band this year in 2025. And we did one show with these already and it saved a ton of time on setup. So I'm excited to do more shows with them. If you guys have any other questions about anything you saw in this video, please drop them in the comments below. I do really enjoy responding and chatting with you guys. I appreciate all those comments on all my other videos. It's super cool to get some insight from you guys too. If you have any suggestions, let me know. I know that this is kind of a DIY, really DIY level project here. It's not welded, it's not, you know, a professional lighting truss by any means, but it's something that I came up with to get the job done. So if you have anything else to add, please drop me a comment. If you liked this video or got something out of it, give me a thumbs up. I really appreciate it. If you haven't yet, hit the subscribe button because I plan on making a ton more videos about my live sound and lighting. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.